Okay, welcome to the Bite Size Workshop on a fabulous blue sky, sunny Thursday down here. Welcome, everybody. And what we're talking about today is budgeting, forecasting, numbers, and that type of thing. Things that my challenge is to make it interesting and exciting. And you'll no doubt let me know. I guess Aaron will tell me, hold a scorecard up as we go along. But anyway, this is something that a model or a principle that I've used in our business, and I work with other people as well. So I'm just going to run through it with some ideas. It's not intended to replace your budgeting toolkit or your accounting system or Xero, anything like that. This is just a sort of a discussion document, and I'll send the document over to you. You can have a copy of it, and it's just them to play with the numbers, have a look at it, and see how it goes. But it does give us a vision of the future, a 12-month picture of the business. So what I do first of all, and it's called the fun budget, as you can see on the screen, is simply, this is the first page, 3 pages on this document. I go on this orange box here. It's this one and the one below it that you can modify. Everything else is locked. All you do here in the orange box is put in the amount of profit you want to make, net profit, before tax and all that sort of thing, and dividends. Just profit in your business. What's the net profit in your business over the next 12 months? And then this is the start point. So what I do, I start with the end in mind. Rather than start with sales and work down, I want to work out a profit and work my way back up. So we sit down every year, Lynn and I do what I'm told, as you know, but I sit down, we sit together and say, okay, what are we doing this year? So this year we've got the house, we've got all sorts of bits and pieces going on, and we chose ourselves a profit target that would support all the things we want to do. So all you do here, I'm going to put a synthetic figure in, we pick any number you like. I'm going to put 150,000. And you can put in 1 million, you can put in 50 quid, whatever you like, but pick a figure that you are comfortable with. But the trick really is as well, what I do here, the box below, it's got put a picture here. So what we do, what I do is we have some goals and targets and objectives, and I want to bring them to life in terms of why are we doing it? And so here, this is just a synthetic. I'm not going to get one of these. I'm not allowed because I've got a refurbishment job to do. I'm going to put in there a rather nice Porsche GT, I think it's a GT2, maybe a GT3. And if that was my dream, that was what I wanted to have, I'm going to put that on there. Now, it could be for you guys, it could be a picture of your dream board. You know, all the things that are on there as you're planning for the year ahead. It could be a property. I daren't put a picture of our new house on there because, as Stefan says, if you saw it, you probably wouldn't buy it. So we've got a bit of faith in that. But something on there that is a reminder of, you know, why you're doing this, what's it going to be worth, what are you going to reward yourself with at the end should you hit the targets. And it is a nice car for 2021, exactly, when we can get out and about. And it's something that it makes it worthwhile. So if you're running your own business, well, this is a straightforward thing to do. But even if you're running a department or a division or whatever is a part of a company, when I was running departments or divisions or companies for other people, we did the same sort of thing. I always treated it as if it was my own anyway. And we put the plans together. And then if the company hit its numbers, I might get a bonus or something like that. But I gave myself a reward. I knew what we were doing it for. So the first job is choose the profit you want for the next 12 months. And it obviously doesn't matter what currency you're in. And then choose some goals or targets or some visualization that you will reward yourself with when you get that target, when you hit it. So that's the easy bit. So we've got the profit sorted out. Now what we're going to do is put it into business. Now the next document, Aaron will love it, I think. Everybody else is going to go, oh no, it's a budget. So let me show you the next one. And it's a lot of numbers and charts and graphs and all sorts of things. Now, all you have to do on this particular document, I'm going to fill one in as we go along now. All you do is you only fill in the yellow boxes. That's it, just the yellow boxes. Everything else auto fills and does it itself for you. So it's pretty straightforward. Now, what you'll notice down here, if you scroll down to the bottom of the page, is that profit target that you set yourself on the first page appears on here. So here is that 150,000. Whatever you put in copies across to here. And then this little block here, as we work through your budget, if we don't get to 150,000, this gives you the profit gap. So at the moment, you've got 0 profit and 150 target. Therefore, the gap is 150. when it stays at a negative number, any negative number below zero, it stays red. So if that box is red, it means you're not going to hit your profit, and that'll make sense as we go through it. So what do you do? Now in here, you put in your sales targets for the, there we go. Sales for the year. So here, I'm going to say, it doesn't pick any figure, like we'll pick a figure for you. I'm going to say 1.2 million. There we go. So there's my sale. That's my annual sales. My sales target for the year, 1.2 million. For you, it could be 10 million. It could be 500,000, or whatever figure you think you can achieve. What's it look like? What do you think? What did last year? What's the plan? Just put a total figure in there. And then here, below it, here you choose your monthly split. Most businesses have a seasonality to them. So if I pick on the martial artist, for example, it tends to be, in terms of sales, January's pretty good because things pick up. August, however, can be a bit quiet. Now, it doesn't have to be that way. As I think Matt Amandeep will say, you can market your way through that, but there can be a seasonality in certain businesses. So here is where you choose the percentage of that sale that you're going to have each month. Now, if you want to have straight line sales, just a 12th, same every month as you go along, all you do here is put in 8.33%, and then you copy it across to the end. So that gives you the same sales figure every month. And all it does, it breaks it down for you, 99,960. So it's going to be, it's 100 grand, but because it's 0.33 on there. So that just splits the sales figure down. It automatically fills it for you, and that gives you a straight line through. Now, if you have a seasonality in the business, you can start off here. Let's say January is going to be pretty quiet. So we'll go so let's come back here. 5% in January, and then we'll go quiet in Feb. And then it picks up in March, 10% of the sales. We'll do 12% there. We'll do 15% there. So Q2 is looking very strong. We'll do a 10% there. And I'm just playing with numbers now. You can do these, just put numbers in, random numbers. And now what you can do as this goes along is here, this little box at the end, the green box, is showing how many percentages I've added up to. So at the moment, I've gone over 107%. We've got too much in there at the moment. So I'm going to just calm it down towards the end of the year. So let's bring that down to 5%. Oops. 5%, not 50. 5% there. And we'll do 7%. We'll do, 8%. We'll do 9%. And then we've done 99. I'm going to put 1% in for December because it's a really quiet month. So on that graph, that sales pattern graph, you can see here on the right-hand side, what that's plotting is your seasonality. That's how your sales will look if you don't do anything. That's what you assume it's going to be. So that's your sales done. Now, if you want to adjust that, it's not a case of just change it on here. If that's what you think it's going to be, we've got to do something different. So you can see here, for example, big problem in the business, or you would suggest December, you crash and burn. How do we get over that? January is not very busy, but Q2 is huge, massive, great. Q2 here, loads of numbers coming through, all very, very good. But it's really with this roller coaster approach. Now, the challenge with that may be, or likely to be, is when you transfer this, and this is not for today, you transfer this to your cash flow forecast, where you've got erratic sales. In my experience, cash flow is even worse. It's a lagging indicator for a start, but if you've got ups and downs in your sales, you're going to have ups and downs and sideways in your cash flow. So in principle, we want to try and smooth out some of the bumps in this, because when we look at your overheads in a second or two, your overheads and fixed costs are fixed. They don't flex. So you've got this cash going out the business, but your sales are up and all over the place. We want to try and avoid that. So that's what it looks like so far. So here in this yellow box at the top, we can choose the month. If your year starts in, let's say April, okay? So let's put April here, APR there, and then here you just drag that across. Oops, there you go. There's your year done. So it starts in April, 1.2 million sales targets, and then every month, based on the variations you've plugged in, you have this sales flow. So the first job is to look at that and go, well, is that realistic? Is that what it really looks like? Can we get it smoother? Is it high enough? You know, what does sales really look like? How are we going to do that? So that's how it looks. Now, here you put in your gross margin. Now, in some businesses, in my business, for example, our business, we don't have a particular gross margin because it's only me and I deliver all the work. If you have, let's say you're manufacturing, for example, you buy materials, you have labor of production, that becomes your direct cost, the cost of production. If you're using freelancers, so we have a language training business, when we hire a freelancer to go and deliver the training on our behalf, we make a sale, we pay them, they are a direct cost, so we make a margin on those guys and gals. Now, if you work out what your gross profit is, I'm going to put in here 40%. Oops. This business makes 40% profit, gross profit, and then it gives you here the direct profits that you're going to make during every month. So here you make 24,000, 24, 48. This chart then here gives you your profit pattern. And so this is gross profit pattern. Now it matches absolutely the sales pattern as you'd expect, because sales are doing this, and providing your GP stays the same every month, which this is what it assumes, then you're going to be consistent. But you've got this erratic profit pattern now coming in. But that gives you what we call a top line view of your business. So you've got 1.2 million sales, you've got a monthly sales figure and a monthly GP figure based on the profit percentage that you choose. Now you can get that from your previous accounts or look at your pricing. You can adjust it as you go along. If you put that up to 45%, for argument's sake, everything changes as you go along. So you can play with it. It automatically calculates. I'll leave it at 40 for now, and it just modifies the graph and the numbers. So that business there will generate a total GP of 441,000. That's your GP based on that there. Now we move into overheads. Now here I'm going to just type in some figures and see what it looks like. So let's say you've got 25 grand of rent, 5,000 for rates, gas, we'll put 5,000 in for that. And what this does automatically, just splits that 25,000 by 12, auto fills, and gives you a column at the end with the total on it. So you don't need to, all you do is put in your total figure. Electricity, we'll put in 5,000. Insurance, 2,000. I mean, I'm just messing with figures here. We'll put 2,000 in for maintenance. Wages, we'll put to 50,000. Costs, on cost, 25. Travel, 5. Marketing, normally 0 in most people's budgets, as far as I can see. We'll put in 5 grand. And depreciation, let's say you got 10 grand depreciation. Now, if you get stuck on any of the terms, you can add more to it, other headlines in there, and put them in. I've just chosen these as a random set of numbers you can have a play with. So what that means is that the total overheads in that business are 339,000. So I'm going to make that in 11,000. 340,000, there we go, a round figure. And what it's done, it's split it every month. So you've got 28,300 overheads every month that you've got to pay. Now, when you then look down here at the bottom, we've got net profit. Now, this is obviously net profit. It's your contribution, your gross profit here, minus your overheads. And you can see here, January, February, we're in loss. This business makes a loss in January and February. When we look at your profit pattern graph here, this one you can see on the screen, there's a 0 point, and it goes throughout the year. So for April and May, you're in loss. Huge uptake in the second quarter. Then you're back into loss here for the October, November, and then you climb again, then it crashes and burns towards the end of the year. Very, very erratic, highly seasonal business. What that would suggest to me, if you look at these overheads, these fixed costs, for example, here where you're making a loss, your overheads are way too high. There must be, people must be sat around waiting for work, or the building's too big, or whatever it is, way too big. When you get to this point, you've got your sales pick up and the profit picks up, but wow, you're going straight through the roof in terms of activity. You're going to start paying overtime. You're going to burn people out. It's going to be stressful, unsustainable, and probably efficiency, productivity is going to drop down. High peaks and low troughs equal inefficiency in my experience. That gives you a pattern for it. And then here, the bottom graph here is your cumulative pattern. Then to a cumulative profit here. So it dips and it grows, and then off you go, it dips down again. This is the one, the profit pattern is the one to look at. How erratic is it? How smooth can we get it? Who's that? Stefan, thank you. Let's have a quick look. Oh, yes, you're right. Excellent. There we go. We'll make it 9%. Excellent. Thank you. Good job. So that's how easy it is to fix it. Well spotted. So it's back. The way to check it is just so you know, this little checkbox here, the 100 should equal 100. So if it doesn't equal 100, you bring it down, take it up, which means all the sales are being accounted for. And it just adjusts as you go along. And what it also means is that this net profitability here, overall, over that business there, you're making 140,000 net profit. The target was 150, so the profit gap is 10. So you're pretty close. If I said, for example, I'm going to bring this 35,000, oops, bring the GP down a little bit. There we go. So the GP is now dropped. Profit is only 80,000 now, and therefore the profit gap is 70,000. You're 70,000 short in your profit target, or from your Porsche GT3 or something like that. What it also calculates, based on this net profit percentage here, the margin, 6.67%, it tells you when you're going to break even during the year. So this business at 6.67% net, you're only breaking even on day 341 in the year. So 5th of December. So you're working for 11 months just to pay your overheads, just to pay all your people and your costs. Only from the 5th of December to the end of December, if you like, or the last part of your financial year, it's only those, 20 days you're making any profit. Way too thin. You've got to get this net margin up. You've got to get net margin up. It depends on the business, and there's no fixed rule for this. I know clients that have 7% gross profit percentage, and they drop out 2% net. It's a fabulous business. It's a different model. It's okay. You got to look at your business. How does it compare to others? What's the benchmark? But in principle, you want to get your break-even point as a KPI for you or your team or your departments or your division. For me, I want my break-even point to be from end of August, September time. So I pay all my costs end of August, and then everything else we make is not buns, but it's profit. Because what happens is, imagine if a business is this sensitive and you've only got 3 weeks to make your profit, anything happens, it's unsuspecting, you're going to crash and burn because you aren't going to make any profit at all. And that's what happened with a lot of companies through this COVID lockdown. They were so inefficient. They didn't have reserves, didn't have profitability. When they had a downturn, what was a minor downturn in March, they were wiped out. Now it's carried on for a long time now, but get some resilience in your profitability, and then you can have a look and say, okay, well, how do we get it up there? So let's just say, for argument's sake, we find a way of hitting 50% gross profit. It's an easy one to fix. 50% gross profit. Now we're making 260,000. We're making more than we thought. But the break-even point is now October, so life is good. We're making money. We've got much more slack in the system, much more profitable because we put that gross profit margin up. Now, you can't just do that and hope. You've got to put a strategy in there for that. But that's how you can play with this document. And you may say, we want to have more sales, better margin, adjust the overheads, look at the break-even point, look at the spread of the sales pattern. Because when you transfer this into cash flow, this roller coaster ride will be a real roller coaster, I can guarantee it. So that's your 12-month budget, and it is fun. Told you it would be. Now, next page splits it down for you into quarters. It takes all the data. It didn't touch nothing on this screen here at all. It breaks into quarters. So quarter one, sales is here, overheads and profit. Quarter two, quarter three, and quarter four. It breaks down into quarters for you. Then here we summarize it. There's your sales for quarter 1, 2, 3, and 4, profit, and all the way through. And all you can see here, here's your graph, sales versus gross profits throughout the year. So this quarter here, first quarter, yeah, it's pretty good, but Q2 is huge. Now it's either too high or the other ones are too low, because then it crashes down into Q3 and comes back a bit in Q4. But your net profit pattern is even worse. Here's how your net profits are showing in the quarters. A little bit of net profit there, huge net profit there, a little bit there and there. That is going to cause you some cash flow challenges, I would have thought. So just watch out for it. But the reason for this template is it allows you to build a very basic model, and it doesn't replace Xero or your accounting function, your management accounts or anything like that. It's just something to have a play with, where you can start off with your profit target that you want as the owner, your budget, which breaks it all down, and you can play with it so it works. And then you can have your 90-day plan. So here's Q1, here's your 90-day plan, away we go. What you can also do is use this as a, sort of stick it on the wall if you like, but put this into your accounting system with your accountant, with Aaron if he's your accountant, obviously, and it becomes a live document as well. And you can compare quarterly accounts, monthly accounts, and see how you're doing. So that's how it works. Take this page here, you don't need to do anything with it. It just builds a picture and it gives you some tips and ideas on how the business is going to look based on what you're doing. If you need more sales, then you do a sales and marketing plan separate. Don't just put a figure in and hope. You've got to put a strategy around it. If you want the margin to go up, well, how are you going to achieve it? If you want Q1 sales to be higher, how are you going to do it? Put a plan together, do it with your team, and you can use this as a sort of discussion document as well. So that is my budget template. I'll send it over to you with all the numbers taken out. You can have a play with it. But any questions? I mean, what I'll do now, I'm going to stop recording, and then I will take any questions. Let me just pause recording.